Hello everyone. So for today, I will be discussing the different muscles of the head. So actually for this one, there are two major na muscles. We have the muscles for mastication and then the muscles that are usually involved in terms of the facial expression. However, there are still aside from these two major na parts, we have still the different muscles of the head in terms of the tongue muscles and extraocular muscles of the eye. So let's start with the muscles of mastications. It says here that these have attachments to the mandible and contractions produce jaw movements associated with chewing. So yung mga muscles of mastication, sila yung responsible in the movement of the lower jaw or the mandible in terms or during the process of chewing. So yung contractions nila, it will enable the farm animals to grind and break down their food for digestion. So ang pinaka most common or pinaka-popular na muscles of mastication, we have the masseter muscle and then we have the temporalis muscle. So I will just discuss that one later on. And then we have the muscles of facial expression. So these muscles are responsible for moving the skin and appendages of the face and the head. So these usually, etong mga muscles na to, it will enable the farm animals to convey yung mga emotions, makapag-react sa mga kung ano man yung mga sensory stimuli na meron coming from the environment and makapag-participate sa mga various na activities that usually involve or related sa facial expression ng animals natin. Ang pinaka-popular naman dito, we have the zygomaticus muscle or what we call as the smiling muscle. Okay? Si muscles of facial expression pala, these are usually called as the mimetic muscles. And then we have here the other muscles of the head. Etong category naman, it usually includes the various muscles that are responsible for functions other than chewing or facial expression. So it comprises now the muscles that control the tongue, yung mga extraocular muscles of the eyes, and some additional muscles na merong specific functions. Okay? So I will just discuss that one in the coming slide. So let's start with the muscles of mastication. So we have the digastricus. Okay? Ang primary function ni digastricus muscle is usually to open the jaw or the mandible. So etong muscle na to, siya yung responsible for the downward movement of the lower jaw which is necessary to begin the chewing process. While yung mga other muscles of mastication such as the masseter and temporalis, sila is responsible sa pag-close ng jaw during the power phase of the of chewing. Si digastricus muscle, it usually aids in the initial phase which is to allow the mouth to open. Okay? So yun yung about sa digastricus. Basta tatandaan ninyo when it comes to mas madali ninyong maintindihan at maging familiar with these muscles if you will start from the beginning until na ma-close yung mismong mandible para mas or yung mismong mouth para mas madali ninyong matandaan. So una dito na gagawa ng role niya is we have the digastricus muscle. Okay? So in terms of structure naman, although hindi ito masyadong clear, but then dito makikita yung digastricus muscle. Pero meron tayo dito in terms of the structure, it usually consists of two muscle bellies which are connected by an intermediate tendon. So etong mga two bellies na to, these are the anterior belly and then the posterior belly, and they usually work together para makapag-open yung jaw. Okay? So in farm animals naman, yung digastricus muscle is usually aided by the gravity in the process of jaw opening. So if the animal lowers its head, yung gravity, it will help it to pull the mandible down. So it will lengthen now the digastricus muscle and it will assist in jaw opening. Okay, so that is for digastricus. And then we have here another one is the masseter muscle. So yung primary function naman ni masseter muscle is to close the jaw or the mandible. So when this masseter muscle contracts, it exerts force on the mandible, causing it to elevate and bring the upper and lower teeth into contact. So this is usually crucial sa pag-crush down ng mga feed materials, sa pag-grind ng feed materials, and at the same time sa pag-breakdown ng food during the mastication process. Okay? In terms of the location, the masseter muscle lies lateral to the mandible, which means it is situated on the side of the animal's face, running from the zygomatic arc or on the cheekbone to the angle of the mandible. So, in terms of its structure, usually powerful muscle ito na merong well-developed na muscle belly. Pero in terms of the different animal species, it's usually it vary. Okay? Pero like yung cattle natin, meron silang robust na masseter muscle due to their herbivorous na diet. That usually it requires them an extensive na chewing. Okay? Then in terms of attachments, si masseter, as what I have said a while ago, it is attached to the zygomatic arc. So that is the zygomatic process of the maxilla. Doon sa upper end and to the angle and lateral surface of the mandible and its lower end. So if the muscle contracts, it pulls now the mandible upward and backward, causing the jaw to usually close. Okay? And then we have here another one is the temporalis muscle. So dalawa sila. It will also close the jaw or the mandible. So when this muscle contracts, it exerts a strong force on the mandible, pulling it upward and backward, which results in the closure of the jaw. So yung temporalis muscle natin, it usually works in coordination with masseter to facilitate the powerful grinding and crushing of food. Now, meron tayo ditong statement. Si temporalis muscle daw, it is often considered the strongest muscle of the head in terms of lalong-lalo na yung mga carnivorous natin. Like yung mga cats and dogs natin. Kasi very crucial ito for these animals as it allows them to effectively tear and chew their prey or yung mismong feed nila or yung mismong food. While it may not be as robust in herbivorous farm animals natin like yung mga ruminants natin, it is still a powerful muscle sa mga farm animals natin. Pero take note that this statement is just only applicable sa mga pet animals natin. Okay? Then for the location, usually si temporalis muscle natin is situated on the side of the skull, overlying now the temporal bone. So it spans from the temporal fossa on the side of the skull to the coronoid process of the mandible. So when these muscles usually contract, it causes now the mandible to pivot around the temporomandibular joint, resulting now na mag-close yung mismong jaw. Okay? So, that's what I've said. Meron siyang well-developed din na muscle bellies, etong mga temporalis muscles natin. Then we have another one, the medial pterygoid muscle, and then we have the lateral pterygoid muscle. Okay? So, yung medial pterygoid muscle, responsible naman siya. Actually, etong dalawa is more on the side-to-side movement of the lower jaw. Kaya like for example, pag kumakain tayo, meron doon sa left or right. So that is usually lalong-lalo na in terms of the chewing process of ruminants. Like for example, for the cattle and carabao, yung mismong side-to-side movement nila, it's because of the medial and lateral pterygoid muscles. Okay? So ito lang, yun lang yung mismong function nila, tong mga to. Then we have here another one, the muscles of facial expression. It's actually the muscles of the cheek, the muscles of the forehead, the muscles of the lips, and then the muscles of the eyelids. Now we have here the muscles of the cheek. We have the platysma. Actually, kung etong mga M dito, it's actually musculus. Okay, musculus platysma, ganun. Musculus pterygoideus, mga ganito. Okay, then for the platysma, it is a cutaneous muscle, meaning to say it is found just beneath the skin. So it is the most superficial muscle of the face sa mga farm animals natin. So ano yung pinaka-primary function niya is actually to contribute to the facial expressions and movement. So in farm animals, it can influence yung tension and appearance ng skin around the mouth and neck. While it may not usually play or it usually gives a major role in the manipulation of food, pero si platysma is usually involved in facial expressions. Then we have the buccinator. It is non-cutaneous muscle located within the cheek area. So highly important muscle naman ito in terms of although some part of chewing and oral function. So pero ang pinaka-function lang kasi nito in terms of this one is i-assist niya yung manipulation ng food during the chewing process and para ma-keep yung food between the teeth. Okay? So etong muscle na to, it will help to prevent the food from being pushed out of the mouth and para ma-support yung formation ng bolus. Ano ba yung bolus? That is the rounded mass of food that is usually being combined with the saliva already that can pwede nang ma-swallow ng animals natin. Okay? Although ito pala, before I forget, in terms of buccinator, usually nagko-contribute din siya in producing pressure within the oral cavity, which is usually important sa mga like kumbaga pag magsususo yung young animals natin sa teats ng kanilang mother. So that is because of the buccinator. It usually helps in producing a pressure within the oral cavity. Or kumbaga pag mag-blow yung animals natin or even sa tao, that is because of the buccinator. Then we have here the levator nasolabialis. It usually covers the lateral surface of the nasal bone and the maxilla. So it usually assists now in several lip movements naman, including yung elevation ng upper lip. So important ito in certain behaviors sa mga farm animals, like for example, if they will explore or smell something or smell some objects or pag maghahanap sila ng food. Okay? So by elevating now yung mismong upper lip ng animals natin, it could directly sense is some objects or some food na pwede nilang kainin or a behavior na saan natin nakikita ito. It's more an ano ba? We have the cattle and then we have the horses. Ito yung ginagawa nila. Like kumbaga pag minumove nila yung upper lip nila in search of objects or food. And then next one, for the muscles of the lips, we have the orbicularis oris. So it surrounds now the opening of the mouth. Okay? So it usually, eto naman is nagko-control ng lip movements and minamaintain niya yung integrity ng oral seal. So it helps niya, tinutulungan niya na ma-keep yung food and liquid within the oral cavity while preventing them from spilling out. So yung, as what I've said, Si orbicularis oris, yung mga muscle fibers niya, it run longitudinally around the mouth's opening, allowing for fine control over the lips. And then we have here the zygomaticus muscle, or what we call as the smiling muscle. Kasi yung contraction niya, it raises the corners of the mouth, giving now your appearance na naka-smile kayo. Okay? While this muscle is primarily associated sa facial expression, including yung smiling, it can also involve in some other lip movements sa mga farm animals natin where they can display certain emotions or behavior responses. Okay? Then we have here another one, the musculus mentalis. So that is a subdivision of the buccinator muscle, and it's usually located on the ventral part of the cheek. So nag-i-aid naman ito in controlling yung mga lip movements, particularly so makikita ninyo dito na sa baba. So ibig sabihin, it's on the lower lip yung kinokontrol niya. Okay? It's usually nagko-control siya or meron siyang role in terms of lip protrusion and nagsusupport doon sa lower lip during various activities, like for example, for grasping, pag meron silang minamanipulate na object, mga ganun. So that is for mentalis. Now we have here the muscle of the forehead. We have the frontalis. So it is usually situated in the forehead area, overlaying now the temporalis muscle. So pinaka-ano naman ito, ito pala kung makikita ninyo, it usually covers now the upper part of the skull and yung forehead region. So yung primary function naman nito is usually for facial expression. So it assists na ma-erase yung mga eyebrows nila and makapag-wrinkle ng forehead para makapag-contribute ng expression, like for example, pag expression of surprise, curiosity, mga ganun, or concern. So si facial or si frontalis muscle yung bahala dito. Like for example, pag tao naman, pag nakakunot siya, pag meron siyang gustong gawin and nag-iisip, di ba, usually tumataas yung mismong mga eyebrows natin. So it's because of the frontalis muscle. And then for the eyelids, we have the orbicularis oculi. So that is a sphincter-like muscle that surrounds the palpebral fissure, which is now the opening of the eyelids. So ang function naman nito is it controls the closure of the eyelids. Okay? So pag nag-contract itong orbicularis oculi, brought out niya yung upper and lower eyelids together para effectively na ma-close yung eye. Okay? So like for example, if there are some environmental effect or environmental elements, like if there is kumbaga merong dust or merong hangin na malakas. So yung pag-blink niya ng animals natin or any other facial expressions that involve the eyelids is because of the orbicularis oculi. And then we have here the retractor anguli oculi lateralis. So ito naman is positioned to the side of the eye and passes from the lateral palpebral angle. So actually dalawa lang to. Meron din ganito pero it's we have the medial naman to. So in terms of this one, responsible siya in retracting or pulling the outer corner of the eye, which usually helps na ma-widen yung opening ng eyelids natin. Pero from the word itself, it facilitates the lateral movement of the eyelids. Ito kasi is facilitates naman yung medial movement ng eyelids dito. And then we have here the extraocular muscles. So responsible tong mga to for the movement of the eyes in all directions. Okay? Number one, we have the rectus muscles. So dito na yung lateral rectus or what we call as the rectus lateralis. So kinokontrol niya yung lateral movement ng eye para ma-allow siya na mag-move outward. Okay? Very important ito in scanning the peripheral field of vision. Si rectus medialis naman or medial rectus, it's usually inward or medial eye movement. Okay? Inward or medial eye movement. And then si rectus superioris and then si rectus inferioris. So that is just the dorsal and ventral. Si rectus superioris, from the word itself, superior, kinokontrol naman niya upward eye movement. Okay? Para makita yung animal, if kumbaga mag-look, pag maglulook upward, yung animals natin makikita nila is because of the rectus superioris. And then si rectus inferioris, it's usually downward naman to. It's more unresponsible in moving the eye downward. Okay? And then meron tayo dito, it's actually yung mga tawag nito, yung retractor bulbar muscle. So ito naman, it's more and pinupul niya yung mata back into the socket and usually it helps in proper positioning. Yun yung ginagawa niya. So more an stability of the eye yung ginagawa ni retractor bulbar. And then we have here yung mga oblique muscles natin. Yung superior oblique muscle and then we have the inferior oblique muscle. Okay? It's more an downward. Si superior oblique muscle, it's more an downward and lateral eye movement. So, inward eye rotation, yung ginagawa ni superior oblique. Si inferior oblique muscle naman is upward and lateral eye movements. And if si superior is inward, si inferior oblique muscle is outward eye rotation. Okay? Then we have here the orbitalis or yung mga orbital features or yung mga orbitalis muscle. So, sila naman yung mga muscle na nagsusurround the eye within the bony orbit. Okay? It's more an maintenance din ng overall position ng eye within the orbit. And then we have here the last one, the muscles of the tongue. So we have actually the intrinsic and we have the extrinsic muscles. Okay? So si intrinsic muscles, etong mga to. And then for the extrinsic, we have yung tatlo. Usually sila yung responsible for the gross movements and positioning now of the tongue. So extrinsic. So we have here number 1, the genioglossus. So that it's located on the underside of the tongue and it usually attaches to the genial tubercles and the mandible. So in terms of tongue protrusion, retraction, and pag-change ng shape ng tongue, that is because of the genioglossus. And then we have here the hyoglossus, attaches naman sa hyoid bone. And it usually helps in retracting the tongue. Okay, it depresses and it retracts the tongue. So it aids now in tongue movement, particularly in changing the shape and position of the posterior part of the tongue. And then we have the last one, we have the styloglossus. So ito namang muscle na to is actually it attaches to the styloid process of the temporal bone. So ganun din, it assists in retracting the tongue and changing its shape, especially in the posterior region. So that ends my discussion about the muscles of the head.